And what is the name of the game? What's the strategy here?
I would actually rather have a Felios because we've seen a lot of success of other champs into Gwen start to come up. You know, the Tryndamere is actually my personal favorite.
Okay.
And definitely has been utilized very effectively for the split pushing and for the early presence in trying to, you know, push for kill pressure on her as well. So we shall see if this emerges in the game. But Caitlyn picked up early here for Immortals. That signals that they do want to go for an early game focused composition. Caitlyn, Lux, definitely biggest strengths are in the early game. We'll see if they actually end up pairing with a Lux. Yesterday we got some Caitlyn Nautilus. Not quite as effective, but still able to get off to a pretty good start.
And TL are going to pick the Jhin into it. So a little bit, not one of those top tier marksmen, but again, one of the ones just a little bit lower there on the tier list, knock it down a couple of pegs, but also has a stronger early game to deal with something like a Caitlyn.
And when you're looking at the Caitlyn, you usually are picking Jhin or Ezreal into it. Those are the two biggest options for not necessarily counter, but answer AD carry picks into the Caitlyn because of the trading pattern there. Jhin can have a very quick trading pattern, and the range is not too shabby. Bouncing grenades goes a long way in helping that out as well. It depends a lot on the support pairings, though, as we were talking about. If Caitlyn or Jhin gets their hands on the Karma pairing, changes it quite significantly.
Well, we've got Viego locked in for TL, and a lot of the times I would look at this pick and say, okay, there's your jungler, but remember, this is Team Liquid and this is Bwipo. So there's always the possibility of that potentially going into the top lane as well if the matchup would favor it. Back on the Immortals side, they're going to answer with their own jungler. They're going to pick up the Xin Zhao there for Xerxe. So even though the Hecarim and Volibear got banned out, that jungle pool got pinched a little bit, they still got a high-tier champion, and it'll be PowerOfEvil on the Ahri.
So PowerOfEvil on Ahri is definitely a great pairing of player and champion. He's got tons of mastery on the Ahri, but it means that you leave your supports up for bans for Team Liquid in the second round. So I would not be surprised if Team Liquid wanted to go for a mid lane match here, because CoreJJ actually really prefers support counterpick in a lot of scenarios. That being said, he literally first picked Nautilus yesterday, which
he seems comfortable
with almost no other team is doing in the world. And so Team Liquid will once again get CoreJJ the Nautilus. The man had such an influence on the game. I mean, not only the lane phase with Hansama earning advantages in the bottom side, but his multiple roams towards mid lane got a big win for Bjergsen early on a scaling mid laner. So the Nautilus here is definitely very, very high up in the CoreJJ repertoire, and he definitely will look to roam with it a lot. So as we talked about, though, that's going to leave you open for Immortals. Since you invested your third pick into the Ahri, you're going to take multiple support bans in compensation.
Right, the Lux already banned away from the Caitlyn, but here's the other thing I'm looking at, going back to what you were talking about earlier. You said maybe not take the Gwen early because there's counter picks, specifically Tryndamere, that can be played into it. Seeing this Tryndamere ban here lets me know, hey, maybe they are looking at a Gwen. Maybe that is something that might need to either be picked away or banned out here. TL going to continue to target supports instead. Karma, another one of those powerful early lane bullies that can help out the Caitlyn to achieve that lane dominance. That's off the table. What's the ban going to be here for Immortals? And then if you're TL, are you concerned with a potential Gwen pick if you don't take it yourself, now that Tryndamere's out of the way and a potential another top ban could be coming through?
Yeah, definitely start to worry about it here. Maybe they actually even end up adding her to the ban list here. Veigar taken out as the answer to Ahri. Interesting question there. I mean, the cage is a little bit annoying, but I still feel like Ahri has some pretty decent options into Veigar. The general strengths of Veigar are into these champs that aren't super long range. So you usually see Veigar into melee heavy comps. Ahri is decently short range as far as the mages for mid lane go, so pretty good consolidation here. But Bjergsen just right back on that Viktor. So they have two of the biggest parts of their game yesterday, which was the Bjergsen Viktor, which received a lot of the ganks and support from the CoreJJ Nautilus. So yeah, could be a very similar game plan here. And you talked about the flexibility of the Viego pick too. Fourth pick here, they're not locking in until fifth pick for top lane, so they can keep that flexibility of, you know, possible Bwipo Viego alive. And it's going to force Immortals to show everything here. The Leona with the Caitlyn, looking for the melee matchup on bottom side. Things definitely could get very, very volatile in the bottom lane here. Arrow and Destiny are definitely going to have their hands full. Caitlyn Leona versus Jhin Nautilus, definitely very, very explosive. And so they just get one of the very safe blind picks here, the Graves up there for revenge. So even if you pick up the Gwen for Bwipo, Graves will be fine into the matchup on the top side. It's just that once you get a little bit later into the game, things start to get more Gwen favored.
All right, TL, what's the answer going to be here?
Oh, hell yeah!
Only they locked it in.
Shyvana! Okay, and since Bwipo has already changed over to Ghost, I'm assuming that they might switch back and he'll actually play top Shyvana. He's holding on to the Ghost though for Viego, I guess. All right. Honestly, Shyvana coming back up. I am hoping this is not AP Shyvana, which you mostly see in solo queue.
Right.
I'm hoping that this is the tankier Shyvana build for Santorin. Again, this has gained a lot of popularity with junglers like the Hecarim and Udyr leading the power clearing way. Shyvana has jumped right in, and the only difference is dragon priority.
She got robbed!
Taking more time to find them!
And this is before we even take. Yes! Let's go! We're one cut down and you want to FF?
The degeneracy of Mr. Dash. More beer pong next week after LCS on Sundays. So we'll see you then, everyone.
All right, so let's talk more Shyvana here. You're talking about Dragon Priority. You're saying that you want to see the tankier Bruiser-style build as opposed to the AP one-shot cannon that often rears its head in solo queue. Tell me a little more about this. Let's go into this a little bit deeper.
So Shyvana is a power-clearing champion similar to Udyr or a Hecarim, and you're fairly weak in your first clear. So the one thing you have to worry about when you're in a Xin Zhao matchup is them looking for level 3 plays, looking for
Shyvana's
invades.
top.
Okay, so he did switch back at the very end there. Okay. That's what I thought with the Ghost, and then he was holding on to it, so I was like, all right, fine. You do some Ghost Viego up there? Sure.
Well, he does
All
have
right.
PTA, so it looks like we are getting Bruiser version.
This is definitely going to be fun to see if Team Liquid can get the Dragon priority for Shyvana, because that is a big part of the Champion 2, is getting those extra resistances from Dragon control and actually securing that objective. One of the things from the origins of top lane Shyvana, if we go all the way back to the M5 days,
Oh,
was
baby.
hard pushing on your lane and helping your jungler invade the top side of your opponent. So I want to see if you can still operate the same way and have a similar effect here for Bwipo. Obviously, the press the attack gives you the possibility of, if you can get to the Graves and he doesn't dash away, to be able to get off the quick proc of it with your Twin Bite. All you have to do is auto and then Twin Bite, and it instantly procs your PTA. So it does have a pretty strong trading pattern for lane, but mid is going to be dead again. Are you kidding me, Flowers? Yesterday it was level 2. Today they bumped that up to level 1.
Those are rookie numbers. We got to get them numbers up there. Level 1 play from Team Liquid. Man, it's just so hard to deal with. They just walk into lane. They bought the PowerOfEvil, tried to flash away, but CoreJJ was immediately ready for the flash follow for the auto attack route into the dredge line, and there was no way out. Hey, you said they're running back the important duo of Bjergsen Viktor getting help from CoreJJ on Nautilus, and from minute 1 in this game, they're running it back.
Let's reenact these strategy meetings for Team Liquid leading up to this week, Flowers. All right, it's CoreJJ and Bjergsen. Let's pick Viktor and then gank mid. For the first 10 minutes of this game, CoreJJ, you need to be mid every freaking second that you have. Remember, yesterday, they also didn't stop at the first gank towards mid, okay? He went back and repeat ganks. He burned flash, then they had ganks from Santorin as well. So Immortals have to already be thinking, hey, PoE has no flash. He is incredibly incredibly vulnerable here. How do we get vision around mid lane to solve this problem? How do we control this pathway so that CoreJJ doesn't get a free route between mid and bottom side? We need to protect PowerOfEvil, get some wards up around this mid lane. And so it looks like Xerxe is actually going to take it into his own hands, going down and securing bottom Scuttle Crab to allow Immortals bottom lane. Keep pushing Team Liquid in. Don't allow any roam timers for CoreJJ to emerge for them to really try and punish that flashless Ahri again. And then all you have to do is track Santorin to keep track of the other variable in the game.
Exactly. As long as they can keep CoreJJ underneath the turret, then at least they have eyes on him and they know that PowerOfEvil's not getting threatened. Now, Destiny and Xerxe are both wrapping around here. We might actually see Immortals make the power play here instead. Bjergsen still has his own flash, and he has the reaction time to get away from it, so he'll survive the dive.
And he only loses out on a few minions at the tower there too, so it still does push him off of some experience, but obviously not nearly as effective as the earlier Team Liquid move. And ward here by ramp from Team Liquid as well, gonna give them some more priority around this area. Bjergsen does have teleport as well, so he can get right back out there.
Yep.
So he still holds on to his CS lead, even though he's the one who gets forced back there. Since he's got teleport instead of ignite, easily gets back to the wave.
Well, let's see, Immortals, how this bot lane is going to continue shaking out, because CoreJJ is on the roam. He's hanging out in the jungle between bottom and mid lane right now, so that means it's up to Hans to just hang out underneath the turret, farm up however he can. You can see pretty big CS disparity between him and Arrow, but of course he can still have a couple more to farm up underneath the turret right now. But CoreJJ, man, he's top side. Santorin's trying to steal away some enemy jungle here. Going after the Gromp, he'll smite that one down. Revenge going to immediately start hitting him over the wall here, but they're ready to try to turn this one around. It will be a 3v2 for Liquid. They get a 4v2 now as Bwipo's ready to rotate down. Santorin, however, takes a lot of damage and has to disengage. TL's just going to escort him home safely.
And that's using their CoreJJ roam timer to allow Santorin to get that little bit of counter jungling down. I thought it was getting kind of dangerous there, and he might have to use his flash, but he holds on to the important cooldown there, so Santorin still has his flash. Ward in the Pixel Brush, I believe, saw Destiny move over here, so this is why Bjergsen can play so safely. You see him immediately moving up to the top side of that mid lane. The vision around mid, again, is paramount in this game, and it seems in all Team Liquid games.
Yeah, that roaming style of CoreJJ, man. But down here in bottom lane, Destiny goes in for the Zenith Blade. I mean, he finds a quick little, just barely a combo of damage there onto Hans. Not a whole lot really to write home about. Nice little bit of follow-up after the fact. Bwipo jumps in on Revenge here using the ulti, just trying to trade back and forth with that one a little bit. Another interesting thing about Shyvana compared to most champions in League of Legends, that remember that Shyvana, your opponents are always aware of exactly when and when you do not have your ultimate. It's
true.
Most champions, there's at least a little bit of guesswork. Even if you know that it's about 60 seconds, you've got to be tracking it. But Shyvana's is very obvious. So whenever that bar is up, Revenge must be respectful of Bwipo's ability to do that.
And it's kind of funny because more knowledge does not always give you more power. It also allows Shyvana to do things like bluffing and to just threaten you, say, hey, I know you can see my giant red bar here. Yeah. I've got and
I'm angry.
Exactly. You can threaten in some scenarios and try and zone people out. So we shall see how this transitions. I'm very curious here. It looks like with the early armor start for Bwipo, you know, he definitely wants to itemize versus the double AD of Graves and Zhao. Pretty no-brainer there. Because he is going to be building that tankier version. If it's a top lane, Shyvana, there's no way you're going AP, so is going to invest into the early armor. It's just super easy when you have the same damage type for both top lane and jungle. But really, this game of the support roam timer windows, which is basically afforded to you by every wave that you can push out on bottom side, is going to give you pretty tremendous rewards, because we've seen the fight over this vision along this highway that is the river around Dragon here be so critical. So Team Liquid, they're pushing out this wave, allowing Santorin to start up this Dragon, but they don't have mid roam. PowerOfEvil roams first from mid. No jungle though. So if they don't bring Xerxe, then he has no smite, and they don't bring him down. So mid roaming actually will mean nothing if your jungle's not there too.
Yeah, Santorin, you could see as soon as he was aware that the Scryer's Bloom hit him, he just pulled the Drake out a little bit, make it so PowerOfEvil doesn't have the ability to single dash over the wall and try to hit him with a charm type of a combo. As soon as he's out of that sort of range, it's easy to continue taking the objective. So first Drake of the game goes Team Liquid's way, just shy of 8 minutes in, as Xerxe's hanging around mid, but Santorin will also be doing the same. Throws out the Hallowed Mist upon seeing his opponent and then walks back away. Bjergsen knows people are hanging out around here, but he's got to try to get away.
Ooh.
Sidesteps the charm. Very important juke on that one.
I think PoE did the flash and then charm. I'm pretty sure you can just do the E flash on Ahri to try and reduce the possibilities of those being dodged, but well done there by Bjergsen because his flash timer was not up. So
Right, if that hits, he's dead.
Exactly. Good attempt from Immortals, but swing and a miss there. Bjergsen dodges the bullet.
And now Team Liquid's going to take the opportunity and move up again into this top part of the map. Last time, it was Santorin invading the jungle, the team coming in to back him up. They were able to get him out of there, no problem. This time around, they've got a mission. They're here for the Rift Herald, and looks like they're going to have absolutely no problem securing that one. Everybody else can just go back home already as Santorin will pick that one up. But down here in bottom lane, Arrow continues building the farm leads against Hans Sama as CoreJJ makes roam. The Caitlyn already up to 90 CS, already 2 plates in the pocket. This is what you want to see when you draft a Caitlyn. She needs to be getting these advantages in the lane.
Definitely agree. Caitlyn getting some early money is important. The champion AD scaling was nerfed on Caitlyn, and already she was a more early game oriented AD carry, trying to abuse a lot of the lane phase with the extra range. Xerxe gets the crab, and then we'll be able to hover them, so they should be able to get right back down to sweep these minions at their tower. But again, the other big story in this game is, of course, Immortals and their AD carry switching position, with Arrow now kind of taking over most of the time, having both games this weekend as well.
Yep.
Seems like they have found a direction that they want to play off of, and being up CS and being able to push in, even if you do have to invest draft resources to grab that Caitlyn, is definitely very, very powerful when you're against Hans Sama and CoreJJ. Definitely. The other thing you have to track, of course, is the amount of time that you can actually have freedom as a support and what they can do for the rest of the map.
Exactly. What is that impact going to be elsewhere? Honestly, other than that first play that we got, really as the minion waves were colliding for the first time, hasn't been a whole lot of other action here. We're sort of just farming it out, trying to steal away a couple of camps here and there or whatever, but nobody really seems to be wanting to force anything super heavily right now. 2 minutes until our next Drake. We might get a fight over that one. Rift Herald still in the pocket of Santorin, has a little bit over half of the timer left on that, so we'll need to see that dropped in around the next 2 minutes or so. Looks like there's a lot of bodies moving south on the side of Immortals, though. They'll come down here looking for Hans Sama, but as Destiny walks over a trap, it slows him down enough to not be able to throw out the Solar Flare and at least get a summoner spell, so Hans just walks away.
Yeah. Early alert system of the vision there through the river cleared out, but afforded him the extra time to be able to move. Bwipo again with another trade using his Shyvana ultimate. About 50% for each of them on the top side, so not a tremendous amount gain there, but he gets the push in the wave.
And now we get the team fight instead. CoreJJ with the fail flash, and Immortals get paid for that mistake. Now an Ahri Charm's also going to get cleansed out of Hans Sama, and Immortals love the way that one looked.
That is rare, Flowers.
Yeah.
CoreJJ sighting, flash into the wall. Destiny's not done, though. Goes for another trade on Bjergsen.
Okay, the Deadly Flourish follow-up from Hans, going to be a little bit to the left, so it does not root that support long enough for Santorin and Bjergsen to mount the counterattack, so just trying to see if there's anything left on the back end of that fight to grab. Neither side going to get a whole lot of anything. But hey, that's the kind of move that Immortals is looking for, and they're going to take the gold lead thanks to that play in mid.
Definitely what they need to keep up and try and snowball in this game. So Arrow with the kill to his name now. Also, they've completed the Hull Breaker on top side there for the Grave. So I want to see if Revenge is still able to push in on a champion like Shyvana, because this is one of the big things for the pick for the counter here for Bwipo. Is this going to be a better option into the Graves than we've previously seen teams come up with?
Right.
So far, it's pretty much going even, but now with the Hull Breaker, it should kind of tip this Graves into turbo pushing overdrive here for Revenge, and he's already got one plate knocked off on the top side.
Right, when you look at the itemization of the Shyvana, he went for tier 2 boots early, as you need to do as a melee into a ranged champion. He went for the Bramble Vest to better deal with the Graves and the constant auto-attacking. But going for these small B-tier items that cost 1,000 or so gold each means you're not hitting that first big completion anywhere near the same time. Han's trying to fire off some of these curtain call shots here, put some pressure on Immortals as they go for the Drake, but it's already going to be secured, but CoreJJ leads the way. Team Liquid's already going in, and Santorin is getting the first kill. They're going to grab number 2. Where's number 3? There it is. CoreJJ still with 100 HP left. Everybody from Immortals just getting cleaned up. Deadly Flourish will not hit PowerOfEvil, but Team Liquid will trade away the Drake for 3 kills on their opponents. Bjergsen stepping forward again, looking to keep this going against PoE, who's able to fight him off. But man, Team Liquid are right back in the lead.
Yeah, and they also get to push out on bottom side after that. So you have to account for all the gold you get with 3 kills, plus then you see Hans-sama on the Jhin pushing the wave into the tower. Meanwhile, Bjergsen with the blue buff here should be able to keep safe. As Viktor, you have very long range for your wave clear and be able to clear out the extra wave. 1 turret plate picked up for PoE though. Bwipo kind of getting abused under that tower. So the pivot point that was in question for us,
the hull breaker.
The hull breaker and the pushing of Graves, looks like it will still be true despite this changeup of the matchup of Shyvana on top side of the map. Here's another look at it though. And Team Liquid looking for this team fight. You can tell because they're not going in early for the steal on the Dragon. They're all focused on the fight itself. And that's why Santorin is able to get access to the backside, pick off arrow first, and no member of Team Liquid losing their life here. So a lot of money gained in exchange for giving up just second Dragon and the possibility of stacking to a super early Dragon Soul. But you'll take that because look at the gold lead now. Almost 2,000 for Team Liquid.
Yep, up in the top side, Bwipo will complete that first big item now. He has the Iceborne Gauntlet ready to go for a little bit of extra continued power. Maybe some slowdown on the Graves when he jumps in on top of him too to see if he can fight back a little bit more.
Yeah, and so the tanky build is usually Frostfire into Blade of the Ruin King, but that is when you do it as a jungle. I have not seen a top lane Shyvana in quite a long time. So I wonder if he'll go full tank or if he will go Blade of the Ruin King as well to still have that threat. Meanwhile, it is going to be a possible pick on Destiny.
Oh, Destiny, he sidesteps away from the Spectral Maw, but Bwipo's already waiting, and Hans-sama picks up the money. Team Liquid, they get 1 for nothing. Bwipo now has the ulti charged up, so he'll be able to get away or go in if he chooses, but that looked easy for TL.
Certainly did. Nice teleport there from Bwipo to flank, but again, when you teleport away from your lane versus a hull breaker champion, that is going to give
the hole will be broken.
The hole has been breached, Flowers!
The hole will be breached!
The hole has been breached! It's almost gone there on that turret, and that would be a first turret bonus. So Bwipo goes for another trade, ultimate in onto Revenge to try and get some pressure back.
And Bwipo is chasing this one
down.
Look at all the damage coming out from the Dragon, but it's not enough, and Revenge slays him in the 1v1. Santorin comes in trying to clean this one up, but Revenge says, all right, you want some too? Holy moly, nice job, Revenge!
Revenge popping off in the top lane here. Flash nicely used as well to dodge away from Santorin, trying to come collect his head in payment for Bwipo's death, and it just took me the neutral objective picked up for them. Rift Herald number 2, not as important, but is still going to mean they get to push in on top side of the map, and the race for that first turret bonus we're keeping our eyes on still goes to Immortals because of the antics of Revenge up on the top side of the map, and that goes all into the hands of the Caitlyn, all into Arrow.
Yeah, Bwipo thought he had that 1v1 there, the extra slowdown potential under Revenge with the Gauntlet. Let's take another look here. He jumps in, getting some nice damage over time there with the E-zone, but Revenge does a great job kiting it out.
Yeah, Revenge did a good job dodging out on the initial projectile there, and then just with the extra tower shot, he saves his burst, ultimate down to finish off the kill, doesn't die to the jungle gank passing through, and that is the hope for Immortals right now, because Team Liquid with a kind of marginal lead to their name, but really Immortals going to be about how much can they get with this split pushing Graves. Shyvana here is building very, very, very tank. It doesn't look like he is going to even pick up the Blade of the Ruin King, so Bwipo is going to focus a lot more on team fights, and we'll see if the Graves will be able to punish that extra focus on grouping.
And the thing I want to point out about the build from Revenge, he is going for the Immortal Shield Bow. A lot of the times these days you see Eclipse over that. But I remember Jat making a point in one of our previous weeks. Hold on, Hansama. I don't even have time to talk about the builds. Hans has to try to get away here. Ace in the hole going to be intercepted by CoreJJ, who drops the ulti on top of Xerxe, jumps right back in here.
Good ult.
Crescent Guard doing a really good job keeping that Xin Zhao alive, but now that has faded, and Xerxe is gone. Bjergsen picking up the kill there, as TL's not done quite yet. Continuing to chase, finding a little bit more damage onto Destiny. Revenge falling back here with the rest of his team. Bwipo's joined up with everybody else now too. TL, they're gonna take the 1 kill and try to push this into a turret take as well on top. Not quite enough here just yet. Bwipo using the unstoppable there on the dash to get away. Destiny down to 200 HP. Team Liquid moving back into the bot side river. They're gonna see if maybe they can set up for this Drake, but PowerOfEvil is nearby. If Team Liquid overcommits for this, he will be able to punish. TL backs right back away.
All right, remember, the dragons are important. Team Liquid only got 1 to help out with the passive armor and magic resistance for Bwipo. It looks like they're going to have to give up this one as well. So Immortals doing a pretty good job controlling this objective that has a bit more weight in this game than in normal games. Anytime you do have Shyvana in there, every team kill on a dragon definitely means a lot more, but he heads right back up to top side to try and get paid in gold instead.
Yep. So the thing that I was going to mention before we got into the play is the fact that Revenge is going for Shield Bow because he knows that Shyvana only kills him by all-inning him. Shyvana's not going to pose a constant threat. She just gets to fling herself at you once and then try to run you down. Shield Bow is going to be able to prevent that more capably. So that's kind of, I like this choice from Revenge. I agree with it. I think it's solid decision-making here based around the item choices, but Bwipo will get that top lane tier 1 turret. So at least that's a little bit more money back in Team Liquid's pockets here. And let's see if they can end up getting this mid lane tier 1 as well. Immortals was able to defend it for now, but we'll see if TL can continue to apply enough pressure. TP coming back in from Bjergsen, Hans, Core, both here too. They're going to shove this wave up. A couple more auto attacks will do it. Wind becomes lightning, not going to find the mark here onto the Team Liquid AD carry. There's 1 auto attack, there's 2, and the turret's gone.
All right, Team Liquid definitely starting to open up the map here. And it will help out with the lane assignments because Immortals, again, they're trying to push on both sides of the map, PoE, bottom side, Revenge towards top side. But once you start taking these outer towers, makes it a lot easier for Team Liquid to punish the rest of the team. If the 3 core of the team get caught out by a CoreJJ engage, follow up by a Jhin root, then they can kind of put a stop to the split pushing that way instead of trying to answer both of those side laners. Looks like, though, with the full tank build, Bwipo still capable of defending the remnants of that top tower.
Yep.
Takes over the minion wave and is able to put a stop to Revenge.
Yeah, with the Frostfire Gauntlet combined with Shyvana's naturally very high AoE damage, clearing the wave is not too big of a deal for Bwipo as long as he's tanky enough to just not get punished by the amount of damage Revenge can deal to him from range while he's trying to do it. We saw the Herald get summoned back in the TL base. The timer was running out, so they just needed to go ahead and drop that one. Unfortunately, it means that it's going to take a while for this Herald to get anywhere useful. Team Liquid are currently playing the Escort mission in the game, and we all know how fun Escort quests are, where you have to try to get it there in time. They will complete their Escort quest, however, and take down the remaining Tier 1 turret. Teleports coming in now from both sides. Revenge ready to make his move, but Bwipo's here on the defense. There goes your Scryer's Trinket, just trying to keep an eye on him. Bjergsen going to be jumped on. Xerxe going in. Nice stopwatch coming out from TL's mid lane. Xerxe dies first. The Immortals trying to fall back. Team Liquid still ready to go. PowerOfEvil down to 100 HP, trying to get himself out, but Bwipo's got the snipe.
He doesn't die either.
Bwipo stays alive. Great auto attacks get body blocked, and it's 3-0 TL.
Oh my, I thought for sure he was dead when that charm lands on Bwipo, but he gets his E out for the kill onto PoE, and then body blocked by his teammates so Graves can't finish him either. Another big victory there for Team Liquid. Are you kidding me? That was so close to bursting him down, and now Bwipo picks up the Warmogs on top of it. So again, building full tank for these team fights, you can not only soak up some damage and then back up to still be a strong front line, but it can help you when you're trying to deal with split pushers as well when you're defending at tower. So here's another look at that dive, and Xerxe super deep in. It was a good ult from Bwipo to peel backwards for Team Liquid. They actually just kind of peel back to protect both their carries right there. I can't believe he actually doesn't die for that. And then it's also a flash from Revenge frustration flash to find finish that extra kill onto him, and he ends up not even being able to get that damage out, going down himself, and Team Liquid with a very big stand.
Yeah, I really like the Warmogs too, like you were talking about, because I praised Immortal Shieldbow for playing against his opponent's win condition, and Bwipo's doing the same thing here with the Warmogs. I know Azale has talked a lot about this before, how when you're up against, I think he's talked about it specifically in the context of something like a Tryndamere, hey, if you're up against him and you don't want him to take your turrets, just never let the wave hit the turret. Even if you have to soak 2/3 of your health in damage from him as you clear the wave, who cares? Warmog brings you back to full HP, you're ready by the time the next wave gets there. So it means Bwipo can do a better job keeping Revenge from ever being able to even hit the turret.
And it's actually pretty interesting because how resistances work in this game, it is very, very, very important for you to get flat health. A lot of flat health was taken out of items. Now, Warmogs is not one of those items. It still gives you tremendous flat health, and since Shyvana gets extra resistances from every dragon that her team gets, here's another engage, though. Let's see if they actually commit to it. Since they aren't, Shyvana...
Maybe. Hold on, there's Bwipo. Dude, we always got to... I see the red bar. See, I got baited by the red bar. You said red bar baits noob, so here I am. I am the noob. I got baited by the red bar. I was expecting something. I got nothing.
Anyway, Shyvana gets extra 5 resistances for every dragon that her team gets, and so that increases the value of buying flat health on this champion. Let's get into this team fight, though, because Bwipo does have his ult ready, and they've got pretty good positioning on that dragon.
Okay, Immortals with a 2-1 Drake lead coming into this one. Team Liquid could tie it up, or Immortals could hit Soul Point if they're able to go in, but there goes Bwipo! He'll start the fight off, but he'll die immediately. Team Liquid's already lost 2, and boy, that went bad. Immortals ready to punish even harder, but PowerOfEvil does not hit the charm. Now Hans is gonna get the snipe, the killing spree back onto Arrow. Immortals in the pit now. Xerxe is not here. This could still be taken by either side. Double kill back over to Hans. Off of Gale Force execution. It's going to be taken. The objective secured by Immortals. But the fight, despite the way it started off, ends up going the way of Team Liquid. Bjergsen still going back in looking for revenge, but the man is out of mana. It'll be 3 for 4, but the Drake goes over to Immortals. What a bloodbath.
Rumble in the Dragon Pit Flowers. That one was so exciting. Team Liquid, even 3 members trying to pull this fight back in their favor. Hansama opens up with the Jhin ultimate to initially zone out on the back line and get one back, and then he Gale Forces into the Dragon Pit point blank. 18 health is left on that dragon. Let's take a look at how it starts out, though, because Bwipo initiation with Santorin immediately deleted both frontliners. Arrow had a really nice combo there while disengaging and still getting off his net into headshot combo to get the kill. But then here, Hans opens up, he kills Arrow, he takes out the back line, and then inside the pit with the slow here from Ocean Dragon, Hansama Gale Forces in to kill off PoE. The charm goes out as he dies, though, and then there's 18 health on this dragon. It starts healing even with 3 members of each team around it. Triple kill for Hans before he goes down, and Bjergsen and Core know, even though it's 2v1, they can't take down that Graves with the shield bow healing, and wow. My goodness, this is an action-packed one, baby.
Yeah, and okay, we've been talking a lot about both top laners' itemization here this game. Real quick, nods to Bjergsen, nearly 6,000 damage in that last team fight. We were focusing on Hans and his triple kill, but it was Bjergsen providing a lot of the DPS there. Bwipo has a blasting wand, Kobe.
All right, we are getting some AP flavor, baby. You don't have to full commit to an AP build for it to be effective. The most broken item in an AP tanky bruiser's inventory is going to be the Demonic Embrace. I really hope this is going to be Demonic Embrace from him. Love this item on any champion that is tanky, but also has good AP ratios. Namely Shyvana. I feel like that is a really, really smart adaptation to what starts out as a full tank build to give you strong team fighting presence. And then if you supplement it with a little bit of AP there that scales off your health, he's still going to have a significant threat on the back line.
Alrighty, we will check back in when that item is completed, see if it is that Demonic Embrace to give him some extra AP Bruiser sort of style. But let's see how these team fights are going to look going forward, because it's still a 4,000 gold lead for the side of Team Liquid, and now they're starting up the Baron. Immortals will be aware of this. They'll walk in and see that. They'll stop it before it ever gets close. Revenge is down on the other end of the map. He has his teleport to be able to come up to the fight if it starts up. He's nowhere close to the turret just yet, so there's no urgency from TL needing to move over and stop that right now. Nice deadly flourish there. Destiny gets rooted up. He's going to lose most of his HP. Now you've got the curtain call coming in. They're going to force the ulti out of the Xin Zhao as well. Immortals, they almost lose their support. That last shot there came close, but just not quite enough range. But without the Xin Zhao ulti, Xerxe has no real team fighting power. That ult is so important for Xin, and that means Team Liquid feel comfortable heading back to Baron.
Yeah, I want to keep on pointing out this split push for Revenge. Again, the Immortals play. They're trying to spread the map. He does have teleport, but that Baron is burning so quickly, it's going to be gone.
The Baron is down to 2,000 HP. Xerxe has no way to go into the fight. He's already ultless, and now PowerOfEvil has to try to get away from TL and their pursuit. Arrow is stuck behind enemy lines. TL trying to decide where they want to go here. Hansama still looking for the damage onto the Xin Zhao, but CoreJJ is going to be killed off by Arrow. Team Liquid have split up and lost 2 of their own men. This seems like a bit of a scattered call. Destiny jumps back in.
Can he stop?
Kill with Arrow. PowerOfEvil just stopped a couple of them, not quite all. Arrow still providing a little bit of damage back over the wall. PowerOfEvil likely to die here to Bjergsen, but not quite yet. But back in the base, Revenge is getting work done. Santorin, he buys himself a little bit of time with Stacy. Oh. Revenge tries to burst him, but Santorin gets away with a flash. Both Nexus turrets down. Revenge in a 1v2. He's chatting.
Oh!
You do not just step in front of him like this. Immortals, they may have lost the Baron to the side of TL, but TL botches the fight after, and Revenge punishes hard.
Revenge is going to shove that shotgun down the throats of Team Liquid if it's the last thing he does, Flowers. Holy moly! They stop the backs for him. They buy the time. He takes out both Nexus turrets.
Wow! That's, okay, when we go back and look at that in the replay, the big thing there was when Team Liquid split and Immortals recognized, hey, we can actually fight them now. This is fair, let's do it. And Immortals, not only are they going to have an open Nexus for themselves to target, they got an Ocean Soul now, Kobe.
Oh my goodness. Trust in Revenge, Flowers. This Immortals team did it in the off season. They kept him around. They built up 4 members with experience on this team to supplement this North American talent here, Revenge. Let's take a look at that split push in this Roccat flip the switch replay. He takes down the turret first, then even with the stopwatch, he tanks turret while setting up for his combo. If it was not for that flash, Santorin gets blown to smithereens. Then with the shield bow proc that you were talking about earlier, it allows him to 2v1, go straight back at Bjergsen, fighting off both members and allowing him to walk out of his own free will.
That was beautifully done there, and now Immortals. Yeah, they're still down 2,500 gold. Ocean Soul makes up for a lot of that. We're going to ignore Arrow's unfortunate stopwatch there.
Nobody saw that.
I never heard nothing or saw nothing. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyway, Immortals, they're feeling good now. I honestly think this is a game that they have a serious shot of being able to take Team Liquid down in. They navigated the last team fight well, they played the macro well to get Revenge in there, and now they just need to keep it up.
I love, too, when we get to see extreme split push versus grouping, because it makes for the most fun late game scenarios here. Immortals, obviously with the power that Revenge wields right now, as a team, when you pick up an Ocean Soul, this makes up for the gold deficit that you're facing versus Team Liquid. And it forces Team Liquid to invest in healing, cutting items if you want to have any chance at taking him down.
Well, Immortals will provide some pressure here in the top side. Bwipo's hanging out in the brush. Arrow's right there, just shoving this turret down. Team Liquid trying to rotate up in case there's a fight. Bwipo's going to engage on Arrow as the 4v4 breaks out of the jungle. Arrow tries to get away. Bwipo continues his chase. Destiny looking to peel for his AD carry, but Bwipo's able to grab the kill. Now Destiny survives with a stasis of his own. Santorin and Bjergsen with a little bit more damage, and Hans will be the one with the kill. Immortals do not survive in that team fight, and Team Liquid punish them.
Beautiful play from Bwipo. The team always talks about him being this wild card. He waits in the brush, eyeballing Arrow for a good 30 seconds. Just stalking his prey, waiting for his moment. And you see why he waited there, because it was actually close. Even with that demonic embrace completed that we were looking for, even with that extra power, Arrow almost survived there and almost was able to deal with him as the peel comes over. But because they have the extra ultimate coming through from Hans as well, 2 extra ones picked up here for Team Liquid, they actually get what they want, a fight where they are all grouped and they can actually use their gold lead and focus down on one of these kills rather than having to play split across the map and deal with the Graves off in a side lane. So maybe we shall see if Immortals can get back to that plan of the 1-3-1. Bottom lane obviously already has the open inhibitor, but trying to stretch Team Liquid across the map again.
I hate to ask because I know we didn't see or hear anything, but I wonder if that would have looked any different if Arrow had a stopwatch to be able to circumvent and survive
You
the
wonder,
Shyvana
eh?
ambush. You know, it's just one of those thoughts popped into your head.
Since nobody saw the earlier occurrence,
Right.
then
Well, the world may never know.
Purely theoretical.
Conjecture, my friends.
Yes.
But we have ourselves an Elder Drake spawning in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and I expect this to be a big focal point for both of our teams. Top laners are currently set up in the bottom half of the map. Revenge will be trying to shove that out. Bwipo going down there to answer him. Both of them have their teleports unleashed and ready to go. Level 18 on 3 out of 4 of the solo laners in this game. PowerOfEvil still level 17, working his way up there. But we're at the point where people are starting to hit those peaks of power.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that quietly, Santorin has become massive here on the Viego. When you get, as a melee carry, your Guardian Angel completion, and he's almost level 16 as well.
Yeah.
He is a huge reset threat. With the amount of DPS that the Viktor can do.
Well, we're already in there, my friend. Xerxe survives the engage coming out from Bwipo, and now PowerOfEvil and the rest of Immortals are trying to turn it back around. It'll be a 1-for-1 here at the start as Bwipo is traded away for Destiny. Santorin looking to find the pressure onto the back half of Immortals, but he won't be able to do it without losing Guardian Angel. Bjergsen with the shutdown onto Revenge, and now Santorin's gonna die to the Caitlyn thereafter. Arrow taking the credit on that. 2 for 2. But the big thing, Kobe, jungler still alive for Immortals. Baron is on the table. Elder in a minute.
Exactly. One of the biggest parts there is they just took that Guardian Angel I was trying to talk about out of the game. They section him off. Hansama gets flashed on.
Nicely done there, Hansama. He got out of the way of the root, but the follow from Xerxe was beautiful. Hans avoided the stun, the charm coming out from PowerOfEvil, but he got rooted by one of the traps from Arrow that was placed in the brush. That's how he got stuck there. Xerxe seeing the opportunity to use the flash with the W and the charge to get it done. That's a huge pick because it's desynced from the others.
Huge indeed, Flowers. That cupcake is going to be an important one. And Xerxe finished it off with a W flash from Jhin. Now they've got an open route towards the bottom inhibitor. Bjergsen, though, level 18 Viktor really pumps. Can he do enough?
Okay, the charm flies out, does not hit Bjergsen. Xerxe still here in the front line. Inhibitor taking damage. That one's going to be felled. Immortals continuing to move forward here now. PowerOfEvil finds the Everfrost route, but it's only onto Bwipo.
Open
Charm
exit.
comes out, and now he's ready to dash around and see if he can find the rest of the damage. However, Team Liquid's able to counter-attack and immediately kill Revenge. PowerOfEvil trying to get away, but now you've got a little bit more coming out from Arrow over here to the side. Arrow's hitting Nexus. Everybody else, what are we doing here? We're trying to go for the Nexus. We're trying to go for the team fight. What's the call from Immortals? The call is getting aced. Team Liquid shuts them down.
Oh no, Immortals, it's a disaster! They're at the finish line and they fall flat on their faces!
Oh, it looked so good there for a minute, but it ends up so bad. Bwipo teleporting into the enemy base. Now he's knocking down the first of the inhibitor turrets. He will knock down the inhibitor right after. The rest of the team is marching down mid. They're ready to end the game. They've got the minion wave coming in top. There is nobody on Immortals alive for the next 15 seconds. What a fight from Immortals in this game, but it looks like TL ought to be able to end it here. Revenge up in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nexus has taken too much damage. You can't stop him in time. It was a damn close game, but Team Liquid take the dub.
Still such a banger. My goodness, that was a fun one. The hard split push from Immortals almost gets them there, but as they're about to close it with the Ocean Soul in hand, inhibitor down, they overstay, chasing through the tower. past the open Nexus. Oh man, that is a heartbreaker.
Tragedy.
You can see it on their faces, but the Team Liquid members, they hold strong, they believe in their defenses, and they punish.
What a game. Looking back, that Baron call from Team Liquid, that they end up going for the Baron, and then right after you've got the punish coming out from Immortals where TL split up, Revenge making his way into the base, fighting them off 1v2. This game, it had so many moments. It had its highs and lows for both teams. But League of Legends is a game where a single mistake can cost you the entirety of everything up until that point. And the mistake in the Team Liquid base, Immortals not being able to find what they needed there with the execution. And Team Liquid, as you said, being one of those squads that can steel themselves and believe in their own defense, they weather the storm and they come back to get the win.
Oh my goodness. What a banger here to start out our Sunday. The real tragedy is I was about to win my bet with Mark.
Unlucky.
That Team Liquid were going to lose another game before the end of Spring Split, but we're going to have to wait on that one. Team Liquid rack up another win.
The bet goes on. After the break, Latigris